Welcome to the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is, here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron.
Welcome back to another episode of the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast. I'm Terry Cameron. I believe this is episode number 81. And this week we want to talk about taking some time off. I'm in my late 50s, and I'm really struggling working with, I guess we would call them millennials. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a millennial basher. I've raised two of them, and they're both successful. And I think my experience working with millennials is the thing that differentiates them from my era, my age group, is that time seems to be more important to them than anything else. Now, that's not everybody, and that's not a put down either. But what I'm finding is that my salespeople and other managers that I work with really cherish their time off. And they should. We all should. I mean, this is a stressful business. We need our time off, but we also need to take care of the dealership, our company. When they need us there, we need to be there. We have a couple sick people out for a couple days. We need our team to tighten the belt a little bit, pull up their bootstraps, whatever the phrase is, and we need them to be there for us. If you do not work for a company, for a dealership that takes care of you because you take care of them, I suggest you find somewhere else to go. But where I work, if you take care of the company, they'll bend over backwards for you. Have you ever worked on a project that had a deadline? Maybe you set the deadline, or maybe your employer set the deadline. And halfway to the deadline, you realize that you're nowhere near to completing the task. What do? I mean, when I sold cars, for example, we needed to sell a minimum of 13 cars to hit our top level bonus. So what I would do is set my goal for 14 cars. I wanted to guarantee that I hit that number because I liked the money that I made. So what I broke my month down into quarters, into 4 weeks. And at the end of the first week, if I was not 25% of the way towards my goal, I didn't take my day off the next week. If I was at least 25% there, I did take it off. And then at the middle of the month, if I was at least 50% towards my goal, towards that 14 cars, I had to have at least 7 cars out. Then I didn't take the day off the next week, and so forth. But what I find today is that regardless how many cars you have out, regardless how much gross you have, regardless how well you're doing in whatever position you hold, especially commission sales or sales that the amount that you get paid is based on the production that you put out, we still take our day off. So again, I want to make sure everybody understands this. I am not telling you to work on your day off. You need that downtime. You need to take a break. But if you're going to take those days off, and when payday rolls around, if you're not where you want to be, you got to keep your trap shut. Don't complain about how much money you made or didn't make. Don't complain about how many cars you sold or didn't sell. Think about what could have happened on those days that you took off. You see, I think days off are a reward. I mean, you need to reward yourself with that day off for doing a good job. What I'd like to hear from some of our listeners are what do you expect from yourself and your employees or even your leaders, as far as days off? It's kind of funny that when I question somebody about taking their day off, especially when they are not meeting the quota, either theirs or the company's quota, they get really upset when I question them. But here's the way I look at it. The dealership does not owe you a day off. You owe the dealership 5 days of work each week. And if you're going to be sick one day, I really believe you ought to be at work on your day off. Now, if this is an habitual problem that you're having at your store, where you have a sick person that always seem to be sick right after their day off, I think you better look a little bit deeper. They're probably also the same person, whatever position they hold, that is not happy on payday. Again, I really want everybody to take their day off, but I also want them to realize that they have an obligation to the company that is paying them to help them meet their goals. And when you do that, the company will turn around and help you out. They'll reward you with commission checks. They'll reward you with bonuses, vacation time, extra time. When you want to leave early to take care of, or to go see your kids play ball, or if you want to come in late because there's something at their school that you'd like to participate in. The company will do that for people that are productive and reliable employees. Now, if you are going to take your day off, take it off. Relax. Do something that you want to do. Don't get burned out. Let's not have those drunken parties. We need you to come back to work the next day fresh and ready to go. And if you're going to take your day off, you need to have a plan for what's going to happen the day you come back to work. We all know that if we just leave everything hanging, when we get back to work after our day off, we kind of start slow. Wouldn't it be nice to come back to work and have appointments already scheduled? So you need to plan for that. Here's another pet peeve of mine. Employees taking off when they have an appointment scheduled for the next day. And what they end up having to do is split that deal. I don't think I've ever made enough money to where I was willing to give half of my commission check to somebody else for handling an easy deal, one that I knew was coming in to buy a car. Remember those appointments, the ones that show up by appointment, have at least a 50% closing ratio. That just bothers me. What about the salespeople that schedule their customers for 2 days from now because they're off tomorrow? I can't tell you how many times I've had a salesperson come back after their day off, call their customer to confirm their appointment, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth when they're on the phone is, "Oh, you did." Yeah, that's right. They went and bought a car somewhere else. Why do we want to have our customer wait just because we're going to take a day off? Again, I've never made enough money to where I could afford to do that. One more time, guys. I am not telling you to work every day of the week. I am not telling you to miss your days off. I guess the easiest way for this to not be an issue is while you're at work, you work. You handle everything you're supposed to do. You sell cars. You follow up. You are a professional. And when you do that, your day off means absolutely, or has absolutely no effect on your month, on your business, because you planned for it. So I guess I ran it a little bit, and that's probably, sometimes it's good for me to be able to rant. And if some of my salespeople are listening to this, maybe they'll even understand it a little bit better when they listen to a podcast instead of me browbeating them. So guys, remember, take your days off. Relax. Leave on time. But while you're there, take care of business. And if we need you, if your company needs you, we need you to say, "No problem, I'm on my way. I'll be there. You can count on me." Oh, I almost forgot. If you're like me and you do have some problems dealing with millennials or understanding millennials, there's 2 books that I read that really helped me out, and let me recommend them to you. They're both by Jason Ryan Dorsey. The first book is Why Size Your Business, the letter Y, and the other one is My Reality Check Bounced by Jason Ryan Dorsey. If you get a chance, Google it. They're really, really good books. Christmas is right around the corner, guys, and the best present you can give me is a rating and a review. I would really appreciate it, and believe it or not, I actually appreciate the comments that I get. So, remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Please rate it on iTunes and visit the 10minutesalestalk.com website to send an email. We appreciate your valuable feedback, and don't forget to share the show with a friend.